Hi and welcome back. Today I'm going to be painting this stormy sky over the sea. I'm going to be just using two colours, that's Paynes grey and raw sienna. The paper is Saunders Waterford and it's cold pressed or not, and it's £90 paper, quarter imperial size. I'll be using mostly these two brushes here, the large Ron Ranson Pro Art hake brush and a large calligraphy brush. My board's at an angle of 45 degrees, all the better for these storm clouds to diffuse down with gravity helping them. Right, I don't have a plan for this. I often don't have much of a plan if I'm painting a storm, because I think they look better and more spontaneous if you just put the paint on and then see where it takes you, and then just sort of make it up as you go along, but bearing in mind that you want to use plenty of rich dark paint for a storm. I'm going to use the large calligraphy brush to wet the sky area with clean water. I want it nice and wet because I would like the paint hopefully to run and diffuse, to move around quite a bit on the page, which of course I can tilt if I want to help direct the flow of the paint. I'm using very thick, almost tube consistency Paynes grey right across the top. You can see now I'm starting to run out of paint a bit more on the brush because most of it has gone across the top, so it looks a bit paler, but I'm still keeping quite dramatic marks, just trying to sort of paint in with enough strength so that as the paint diffuses it won't lighten up too much and it will give me a very, very exciting looking sky. You can see the paint starting to run down, and now as I'm putting in some raw sienna as sort of highlights and light coming through the clouds, it's starting to really bring the sky together, and I think it's looking quite stormy. It's starting to run down towards the horizon line, so now I'm just tilting the board so that it now will all run at a slight angle, so it looks like it's an oncoming storm on the horizon that we can see coming towards us. Now with the hake brush, I'm just dry brushing with both colours across the sea area with quite horizontal strokes to start with, to give me my basic undercoat for the sea, and then just moving the brush around just to maybe add a little bit of texture so that I can start to begin to get that sort of look of the breaking stormy sea and the waves and things. I find that the faster you make these sort of strokes, the better they actually look for a very loose impressionistic painting like this. I'm just going to take a piece of tissue and just maybe dab out a bit of texture into the sea to again start to introduce the idea of some breaking waves. And then just smooth it over a little bit with the calligraphy brush. Now I'm going to take a clean damp 3/4 inch flat brush and just use it to lift out some paint to try and create the look of the crests of the waves and the breakers, sort of surf splashing in. This Saunders Waterford paper is not the best for lifting out, but I think I'm getting enough lifted out there, and if I sort of can scrub away a little bit more and lift out a little bit more white, I'll be happy. I'm just going to do the same thing across the painting just until I feel that I've got the look of the waves that I want. Now off camera I've just cleaned up some of those areas a little bit using a stiff bristle brush and some water and a tissue, just to make those areas a little bit whiter, just by sort of scrubbing the area out and then dabbing that wet area out with a tissue, and you can see how that brings the surf areas out to be a brighter white. This kind of works better on this type of paper for bringing it back to white. And that's as far as I want to go for the first stage. I think I'm going to leave it all to dry now. It's completely dry now. Let's take a closer look, and you can see where we've got the hard and soft edges, we've got dry brush, we've got very thick paint, we've got thinner paint that's diffused and mixed with the other colour. Light areas. All in all, I think that the marks work to create that stormy atmosphere. I don't think it needs much to finish it off. I think I'll use a rigger brush and add a few small birds over here in this space. I think the gulls wheeling in the stormy sky will just be quite a nice finishing touch for the painting. Trying not to get them too evenly spaced. If they go on a bit too heavy, you can, while the paint's wet, you can just dab on them and that will take a bit of the paint off. I think that's nearly finished. I think I'm just going to use the rigger brush just to put a bit of Payne's grey underneath those white crests of the breaking waves. I think a little bit of dark under there should really help to bring out those waves with the contrast of the light and the dark together. I'll just use medium harky brush just to soften along just underneath there, just to blend that darker paint in. And here's the finished painting. Now I've taken the tape off. It's got a nice white border, which I think works well to make the painting look complete. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoy this sort of tutorial, this is part of a new series I'm doing on Patreon about painting different types of skies, loose skies. So why not take a look at my Patreon page and see if you think you'd like to join us. But please bear in mind, it's probably best not to join until after the first of the month, because if you were to join now, you would be charged, and then you'll be charged again next week on the first of the month. So we'd love to see you there, but probably best next month. Okay, thanks so much and take care then. Bye.